Hello folks, welcome to el canal y Channel Jose. Today we're going to show you how to clean an idle control valve on a 91 to a 94 Toyota Tercel, and I'm going to give a little explanation. I'm going to have to make a video completely on showing how this one works, but the purpose of an idle control valve, what it does is while the throttle is closed and is in idle, this keeps just enough air going through, bypassing the throttle, so the engine stays running. When we press on the throttle, then the air goes through the throttle body and then when we release the throttle and we go back to idle, this one air comes from one side and goes through, and the throttle body will be the idle keeps the butterfly, bypasses the butterfly while we're in idle. And what it does is that this one works mechanically and temperature and thermal. So these are for the vacuums, these two fittings, and this one is for the coolant, which goes in and it goes through this and comes out through this, and as it heats up the unit, this starts closing a spring. There's springs in there and a mechanism that starts pushing towards this side, and it starts closing this opening over here that we're going to show you. Is like a seat, and as the car is colder, is a lot open, and when it starts heating up, it starts closing. So that's why sometimes we have a poor idle or really high idle, depends on the problem. But usually these valves start the car shut down because there's not enough air going through, because there's a lot of gunk or carbon buildup. So we're going to show you how to clean that, and you don't have to take it apart, but we're going to take it apart just to show you the purpose on how this idle control valves are from the inside. Okay folks, so we took the cover, the access panel as we call it, for the idle control valve, and there's a nut here. As we can see, there's a groove here and a groove here. That's to fit something flat, to turn it and loosen it and take it and thread it from there. And when we do that, there's a spring in there. There's not much tension, but you just gotta be careful so you don't lose parts. And this is just to show you the purpose. You don't have to take it apart to clean it, but we're showing you what to look for. So when we're taking it apart, we have taken it apart and we have everything almost ready to go. And this is just, like we said, for purpose on showing how what you want to clean when you're cleaning these control valves. So this is the order that the stuff or the mechanisms work inside the idle control valve. This is the body. There's this. This is the plunger. This is the spring, and this is the seat. So what it is that between this seat and the plunger, or this guy, there's the spring which keeps tension, so they both don't never stay close. So what it happens is when it starts when this is cold, and as the car starts getting heat up, the component on this valve, there's a component back here that, as the temperature builds up, starts pushing this against the seat, and it starts closing the air path, so the idle starts becoming less and less as the car heats up like that. And it opens when it cools down, and when it closes is because it's heat up. Sometimes if we run the cars too cold, you got too much, not enough. That's why they call it normal operation temperature, because the idle control valve needs a normal temperature. It works as a different temperature to operate correctly. That's why they work as a thermal and electronic. This is just mechanical. So what we're looking for is that we're trying to clean this gunk or this carbon buildup on the seat and on this diaphragm or this funnel looking metal. So when we have these two against each other is clean, and the air doesn't get obstructed by the gunk and the carbon. So that's why sometimes when we come to a light and this is like that, and if there's too much buildup here, the air gets obstructed, so it shuts down and we have to turn on the car again because this. So we're gonna show you how to clean it without taking it apart like this. This was a purpose just to show you how the idle control valve is on a 91, 94 Toyota Tercel. So we're gonna put it together and we're gonna clean it. Okay folks, so we have put back the idle control valve as it was, one piece, and the reason we tell you not to take it apart from here is because this turns on that nut that we took off for the spring and everything to come out once we remove the plate. It might be to a certain turns depending on the spring tension and all that, and that might be from factory. So you don't need to do all that because all you have to do is just clean it with the spray, and we're going to show you what spray. And you remove this panel. You can remove this panel, but there's a gasket here, and if that breaks you might have to make one because it's just a simple triangle. But the bottom one is the one that you're gonna need because it's gonna break off from being there so many years. So just be aware of that. So you don't have to take these internals off. You might just want to take this plate, but you don't have to do that either. So you can spray it through here and spray it through this opening, and that should take care of the gunk built up inside. So we'll show you the product and how we do it. Okay folks, so we're using the CRC brand, and this is a throttle body air intake cleaner, and this is not harmful for, especially for mechanical parts, because this is like there's no electronics here. So this is really positive results on this guy, and it's not harmful. So we're gonna show you how to clean it. We've been working with this product and it's been great to us, so we're gonna show you how we use this. So these are the two components that needs to be cleaned for the idle to be right. If this is dirty, this component and this component are the ones that get dirty, and the idle control valve stops working properly. So we need to clean it. What you can do is you can spray some of that liquid inside, leave it sitting upright, and let it soak, and leave it for, it won't go bad. Just leave it there so it starts breaking down all the carbon, so ends up like this. Okay, folks, so this is how to clean a idle control valve, easy way and inexpensive. And we don't recommend taking off this plate and this taking all the internals apart, because the components are calibrated to a certain turns that holds everything. So we don't recommend doing that, but if you want to go and do that yourself, that's in everybody's different opinions and choices. So the only thing we recommend is that once you want to take this apart, you be ready to make another gasket if you don't have one, because the one that is on the throttle body with the idle control valve right between here, like this, it's gonna break off maybe in certain points because it's really thin in certain areas of the idle control valve. So be ready to have one in spare or make one. And with that said, hopefully this info was useful, and this will help you in your next project. And we'll see you soon with more videos here en el canal El Chano Jose.